a lot of referrals that I was able to secure was through my peer network who were in the college. I was supposed to join Amazon in February, just after my graduation. It got pushed by 6 months. Referrals are too mainstream now. Like everybody has some sort of connections and then they like reach out to someone and then they apply for referrals. They're not working anymore in the industry. So you need that extra connection with the right people who can help you guide or reach out to the right folks.
How many applications did you do since you were doing 15 a day? And then how many interview calls did you get? You were like, oh, I'm going to get the full time from Amazon. But then obviously 2023 happened and the job market went like completely opposite. How did you manage to get back into Amazon?
For internship, it's 10,000 to 14,000
a month. Before you watch this, I want to quickly say that most people underutilize LinkedIn. They don't understand the power of LinkedIn and how to leverage LinkedIn to get jobs. I have built an ultimate course. It's going to teach you everything from optimizing your profile, getting sourced by a recruiter on LinkedIn. There are live examples, and also how to use LinkedIn and leverage LinkedIn to create the job opportunity that didn't even exist. You didn't even know that it existed. Let me give you a quick sneak peek, and I will tell you that more than 350 students have joined this course and they are loving it. And you can see everything from setting your profile, networking, search techniques, job hunting technique, and like live examples where I'm actually reaching out to people and doing cold networking, etc. You'll also get free plugin, premium plugin for H1B and OPT and all of that. So I highly recommend you check out. Link will be in the description. Sweet. Thank you, Ankit, for doing this. It really means a lot. And I am excited because I think you are, first or second, maybe senior program manager that I'm going to be talking to. So I'm excited to deep dive into that journey, like how that all happened, especially when you did the master's in analytics, which is also interesting. So, but before that, let's do like a quick intro.
Sure. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm a big fan. Obviously, we all are of your work. Even before moving to US, like I used to watch your videos, especially during the COVID times, get the feel and pulse of the US market, what's going on, whether or not I should like come to US for my masters or not. So you were amazing. You've helped a lot of people, and this is like my time to just give it back and then contribute to your work.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you for those kind words. But
let's do this. My name is Ankit Monga. I am originally from Delhi, India. I moved to the US in 2021 to pursue my master's in applied analytics from Columbia University, New York. I completed my master's last year, and then I started working at Amazon as a senior program manager. I'm working with Prime Video in their content acquisition team.
Can you convince them to buy some of my videos or sponsor me?
For sure. I work with live sports. So if you're planning to have Olympics on your channel, I can definitely...
maybe you can connect me with the Amazon Originals team, and then I can ask them.
Yes, for sure. This is an amazing content.
Nice. Well, not this part, but I want to make like a web series, and hopefully that'll happen too. So
that's amazing. That's new. Have you made any short movies or?
I've made a couple of cinematic videos. I actually took like I have learned filmmaking, and I went through like a 1-year program, and and so like I love filmmaking and I love telling stories, and so one of my dream is to make like a 3-part web series and like 8 episodes each, and I have like written some characters, and I probably write like more characters once it gets funded. But so
Nice.
That's the dream. Someday I'd get to
That's
direct my web series.
that's amazing. That's so good to hear, and I'm sure like a lot of your viewers are like looking forward to that. I am also from a theater background. I've also made some documentaries and short movies back in India.
Oh, sweet.
Uh,
That's amazing. So let's talk about timeline. And of course, you were in Ivy League University. So I want to kind of touch on some of that point as well. But when did you come to masters, and like when did you finish it? What's the timeline?
I started my master's in August 2021,
Mm.
actually September 2021. And it's a short course. It's like a 1.5 years course, and it got completed in December 2022.
Mm. Okay. And when did you get did you have internship between that or no?
Yes, yes, I interned in the same team in the with the same role. Worked on basically the same team and the same role at
Okay.
Amazon Prime Video.
Nice. Okay, so before we get to the full time part of the journey, I want to
Correct.
start at the internship.
Yeah.
So you said you landed in September and you got this
Mhm.
Amazon internship. So probably for summer, right? So when did you actually start applying for that?
Uh, I think the process and the strategy starts from day one when you land in the US. My strategy was to work on the processes in first semester. So as soon as I landed, I started working on some of the like processes that and strategies that I wanted to use for my job hunt and job search. I created my own trackers and like ways so that I can be accountable to myself and like track my kind of progress, what I'm doing, how I'm doing, all of it. Plus, first semester, I focused on a lot of networking and like meeting people, not just like on LinkedIn, sending them messages, but actually meeting people in person just to get like the feel of how's the US market doing, what are the growth areas, where's basically progress happening in the next couple of years or 5 years from now. So that was my strategy, and of course, the main thing I wanted to keep in mind for the first semester was to have fun. This was like most of our people's dream to be in the US. So never like be shy of having fun in the first semester,
Mm.
and then obviously in the second semester, I started like rigorously working towards the job search and application process.
Got it. Okay. So day one, you were like strategizing and figuring out how to apply. And I know you subtly mentioned you have your own processes and tracker and all of that. So,
Yeah.
what's the first thing you did, like in terms of job search strategy? Like, what are some of the strategies? Not some, what are all of your strategies? And like, what is the first thing that you started with?
Yeah. So I think for me, I knew what kind of roles I want to be in. I wanted to be more into the product slash program management role, which are like non-technical roles. So just like right now, the role that I am in is a non-tech role. It doesn't have any coding. I'm very bad at it. And also I get depressed when I'm like sitting and coding. Although I am from computer science background and I've done like data as a I've worked as a data scientist and analytics manager in India. However, I know how bad I am. So I knew this is not for me, and I knew the areas where I wanted to be in, the kind of roles I wanted to target. So I started like networking and reaching out to people with similar roles and similar responsibilities, and also a lot of senior folks in some of the companies I wanted to go in. Let me just break it down into the steps and the processes that I have like that have helped me.
And yeah,
Um,
and before you do that, I just want to clarify, you did masters in applied science, which
Applied analytics.
applied analytics, which is
Yeah.
again like a hardcore tech program in a way.
It's a mix of technical and business and strategy analytics course. Where basically here in US you get the flexibility of choosing your electives. So you
Hmm,
can like cater, like you can pick and choose the kind of courses you want to do.
hmm,
We had like a must do hardcore like data science courses or
hmm,
applied analytics courses. And then we also had like strategy and like some of the courses which were more catered toward business side and like how do you strategize and come up with hypotheses and all those things.
Got it. Okay. So in your case, I mean, I'm assuming majority of people who would do applied analytics might want to become data science or data scientist or data engineer or business analytics BI side of it. In
Yeah.
your case, you are like very clear. You had the clarity that I want to get into product or program management
Yes.
because you hate programming just like me. So so cool. Okay, so now that you had the clarity, like what were the steps? Like you were gonna break it down into the step by step. What you're going to watch is an amazing story. But before you watch that, I just want to quickly say that all of these story, I compile the key insights from these stories and all the podcasts that I do. And I put this in my free exclusive newsletter community. Every week, more than 16,000 people receive my newsletter and they love it. And here are some of the examples you can see. This was a podcast on George Mason universities, and you can see how to network and 10% cold emailing, powerful LinkedIn techniques, and so on and so forth. So if you're interested in becoming part of this exclusive newsletter community, absolutely free. Link is in the description, or you can go to udj.com/newsletter.
Yeah. So first thing I did was to use Notion. I use Notion a lot in my life. I wanted to structure the kind of things I'm doing in life and then be accountable. I've used it for my college coursework, like basically being detailed, putting stuff there, and then like being like done with it. Don't have things in my head like just bouncing around, remembering stuff. So I knew I had to do the college coursework, but then my priority was job search. Obviously, that's basically the priority for most of the students who come here. Now, jumping towards the job application side, in the first semester, I basically created like a job application tracker for myself. The strategy that I wanted to keep for the second semester, not for the first one. The first job I applied in the US was on December 17th. So
Hmm.
basically, I landed in September and then spent a couple of months just to work on the processes and be accountable. So this job tracker was something I created for myself, and then it basically I can show like I can screen share and show that as well for the audiences. But I wanted to keep like 15 jobs per day as an average. So that's where I was targeting. Now, how do you find these jobs? I first thing I did was I just on a blank piece of paper, I just wrote down the dream companies where I wanted to go. Just being very ambitious, like okay, XYZ, Amazon is going to hire me for sure. Just putting it out there, manifesting it, and then putting the list of companies that were like super helpful. And so let's say I have a list of 20 companies I really want to go, or let's say 10 companies. Let's break
Hmm.
that down as well. Let's say I have 10 dream companies, five more companies, tier two companies where I will be happy to go there, and then five more companies in the portfolio. Then let's say I go to their website and then search for three job roles that match to basically my expectation and what I want to go in. So I have right off the bat, I have 60 jobs where I can apply. So
Hmm.
15 per day, you can easily spend a week for that 60 jobs, for those 60 jobs that you want to apply to. And then obviously you have the supplementary LinkedIn and Indeed and Glassdoor and other websites where you can find jobs and apply. Angel List as well,
Hmm.
angel.co.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, that was basically an overview of the strategy that I took.
Okay, let's look at your system if you don't mind sharing. I think that'll be super helpful to see like how you structured it.
Just a caveat, I did work with Columbia's recruitment center as well, and I basically gave them this tracker for their students. So, like, it might look somewhat uh, fancy. My version was a bit like not very visually appealing, but it's the same thing. So, let's start from here. This is the job tracker that I use. So, any jobs that I was applying to,
Hmm.
the first thing I used to do was to put that job over here in this tracker before actually applying on the website. So I'll put the position and the link, and then like is it like for internship or full time, and that's it. Like then I used to go to the website and then just apply for the jobs that like I found really helpful for myself. I did not use like all the statuses. Like personally, I thought like if I can just apply for the position, it's fine. Like I can track it over email. But like for some people who really like to like use this tracker and then basically put in different statuses, you can use that as well. Essentially, this is automated. This is where I used to basically track my progress. So over here I have like total applications and then last applied on. When
Hmm.
did I last apply for a job? Number of applications I did today, and then last 7 days average. So this is where I wanted to keep my average as 15 jobs per day,
Hmm.
and I wanted to keep it close to 15.
And I see you also have network relationship tracker. Like, what does
Yeah.
that mean?
Yeah, again, this is, I'm being very honest. Like, I did not use it, but like, I created this for like Columbia Recruitment Center. So essentially, this is like interview tracker. If you've had like some sort of interview or point of contact in a company, you can put that over here. Then the type of like last contact you had with that person. Then like just to being accountable, did you send like a thank you note or not? And then similarly, a relationship tracker where you can have like the contact names and then like number of follow-ups you've had, last contact date, call chat completed, and then like some takeaways and next steps. I did not
Hmm.
use it personally, but like it was helpful for other students.
Got it. Okay. Sweet. Love it. So in your case, so you said you were very clear in terms of roles. So what were those roles?
I wanted to move into more of a product slash program management roles. They both have like a overlap between the responsibilities and the kind of things people manage. So those were the two kind of roles I was looking at.
Okay. And then, so first step, role clarity. Second step, list down the dream companies, that here are the 15, 20 dream companies that I want to work on. Third step, go to their website, see are there roles available that I like, which is program, product, like tech management roles. Put it in the tracker. In your case, you put it in the tracker. Okay, now I have a list of 60 to 70 jobs. Every single day I want to apply to 10 to 15 jobs. In your case,
Yeah.
you wanted to apply to 15 jobs. So that's job application. What about what I mean, before applying jobs, you also have to do your resume and LinkedIn. Did you work on that? And I'm assuming that is the first semester you actually worked on that as well before you started to apply. What what changes did you make? And now that you have worked in the industry for a long time, so like what do you feel like is like, this is how I did my resume, and I would recommend others to do that as well.
Yeah, some I would love to share the learnings and key things that I like were helpful, and then I learned after the application process. Uh, in every university, you have a lot of career coaches and like some sort of department that help you with catering your resume as per the market you're applying to and the job roles that you're applying to. They have worked a lot in the same roles and they know the pulse of the market. So I had a career coach who was very helpful in just scanning through my resume and then picking out the strong points and like whatever they thought were good in my resume and then can be used, especially in the interviews as well. Like some of the things, when you show your resume to a third person who's seen it for the first time, you want to make sure it's easy for them to understand because a recruiter is also looking it for the first time. So some of the changes that I did in my resume was to make it easily readable and then understandable by someone like in 60 seconds if they're just glancing through the resume.
Hmm.
The other thing was to paraphrase a lot of things in my resume using online resources and like peer reviews. So you reach out to, so as I mentioned in the first semester, you network and make friends. You know, your friends are also looking for jobs. So it's like you review their resume and they can review your, that's like peer review right off the bat. And that was something that was really helpful. Um, then the other thing is reaching out to key people on LinkedIn, like making connections, just talking to them, taking guidance on certain roles, and like um, then like once you are kind of friends and you know that person can mentor you on some of the things, then you can basically send them your resume and then just let them just ask them if they can just review it and give you certain guidance.
Mm. Okay.
And JobScan was also one of the things that I used a trial period for. People use it for like paid membership, and then they use JobScan a lot. That helps with the ATS system. So
Mm.
you can match your resume with the job application, job description that you're applying to.
Yeah, yeah. There's Steel as well. Like I've done a couple videos with them. I like JobScan too. So all of like yeah, any tool that can actually parse the job description and then can help you frame the statements based on job description. That is amazing. So yeah. Okay. Cool. I know you touched a lot on networking. So what I want to discuss is what is the process of how did you meet people? What like I know you mentioned both online and offline. So how what first of all, how did you find these people? Second, what kind of first request you made like okay, I want to hang out with you, I want to have coffee with you, like how did you process that?
So for me, what was helpful was to have a peer network, like not just people on LinkedIn, but also the people who are studying with me. That was very helpful for me because they had their own network and they were doing the same things that I was also doing. So a lot of referrals that I was able to secure was through my peer network who were in the college. So if they knew someone in XYZ companies, they were helpful in helping me reach out to those folks. So it expanded my network beyond my LinkedIn reach to my peers network as well. And when you have a list of companies where you really want to go, you can just like ask them, do you know someone in XYZ company? And then they'll tell you, yeah, I have a close contact in this ABC company. So for me, I gave them like if my peers like list of 10 companies, I could not find referrals. So I was like, do you know someone in these 10 companies? Just tell me. So they basically glanced through those lists and then told me, yeah, I know someone in ABC. So I was able to use their network to get some sort of referral in
Can we
scholarship.
go one layer deeper? Because I feel like that's so. Yes, let's say you Amazon. Take an example of Amazon or Google. You had that as in one of your dream list. Okay, I want to find
Mhm.
someone. You used your peers to get someone to introduce you. What is like? How would you do it? Like, what is the thing that you would say to your peers? If I'm your peer, like, what would you tell me?
So I know at Amazon I want to apply for certain position. I know why that position is suited based on my preferences. For Amazon, it was a bit different. I'll tell you about Amazon's process as well. But in general, I used to let's say there is a program management role I'm interested in. So I'll reach out to someone, say, hey. Yudi referred Yudi asked like help me to just connect with you. Wanted to check like how are you doing? Blah blah blah. Then have the conversation started. Then when you're talking about the role that you're interested in, I used to bring in. I have XYZ years of experience. I've done this this this, and I was really interested in knowing about this role. And Yudi told me that you're working in similar roles, so I just wanted to know a day in your life. What like these are my expectations. This is what I think happens. Like, can you just tell me what is a day in your life? Then
Yeah.
having a normal conversation. That was basically my thing that I wanted to do. Having a conversation with someone, and then bring up that part where I have like three roles which I'm really interested in. Can you tell me if those are something that you think can be applicable to me? Now, when
Mm.
you're talking to someone as an intern, like as an employee, they have visibility towards like the level of the role, the recruitment manager, hiring manager, and like other details. So they will know exactly what kind of people fit in and those particular roles, and they can guide you better. So at times, for example, at Amazon, I was applying for a program management role. So then somebody told me that you should apply for a senior program manager role because, like, based on the things that you have told me. you're much more suited for a senior program manager role instead of
Hmm.
program manager. I didn't know that. Like, I didn't know. But like these kind of conversation, they help you
Yeah,
land at the right
yeah.
place.
Got it. Okay, let's take a step back. So, you, this peer of yours, these are Columbia University friends of yours.
Yeah,
Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. So you found them. I mean, you met them. They are your peers. You are like, hey, do you know anyone from Amazon? And you're asking me this. I say, yes, I think I know this person. They work for Amazon in program management. And then you will like, can you help me introduce with them? You're and then like, okay, fine, I will create a common thread or like an email or a LinkedIn message saying like, hey, here's my friend
yeah,
Ankit. He's like, XYZ, my friend studying masters in applied analytics, would love to connect with you. And Ankit, here's this guy, so and so. So this is a common thread. And now you take it over from here to see like if they are willing to meet you for like 15 minutes coffee chat. Is that
yeah,
correct? Okay.
yes,
Now in that you go prepared that okay, what are, so you talk normal conversation, try to understand what their day looks like, what do they do, genuinely have interest in it, and then eventually you're like, by the way, I'm also interested in so and so.
yeah.
That is that usually the first call, or do you like wait for the second call, third call?
I mean, it depends on the person. So if you're meeting a senior person, like you're not gonna get the second meeting. So you want to frame your conversation around like if you're spending, let's say, 30 minutes, taking 20 minutes of someone, then you want to structure your conversation in a way that like the first 10 minutes you're trying to understand from them, their perspective, and then the next 10 minutes you basically try to converse on like what are you looking for,
Mm.
because at times these senior people and the people you would want to reach out to, they're very helpful, but they want to directly jump to the point. Why are you talking to me? Right, like I like it's okay, I'll tell you a day in my life, but I don't have time to do that, so can you just tell me how can I help, and then just
Mm.
be done with it. So
Yeah, and it depends. It depends on what level of engagement you've had so far. Like if it's
yeah,
a mentor type relationship you're looking for, then you probably do want to know a little bit about them
yeah,
and spend time. But if it's like very cold outreach and know that this is specifically for referral, then it's going to be more straightforward conversation. So it's just like you have to navigate that based on the purpose of the meeting.
correct, exactly. Yeah, there's so many factors. There's not a single playbook, but essentially, you have to see the kind of relationship you have, the kind of contact through which you reached out to someone. If you're doing a cold email or just a message on LinkedIn, then you have to like build a trust factor over there, and then I don't know, like it depends on a lot of factors.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so this one from the peer side makes sense.
Mhm.
But you also mentioned you had in-person networking opportunities in the first semester. And then also I wanted to ask you, did you try like doing cold where you didn't have any peers who knew anyone? Or did you find every single time someone knew someone and that's the only technique you used?
No, not at all. You have to hustle a lot. You have to like reach out to people, random people, try to see if they reply back to you on LinkedIn. That's usual.
Yeah.
Everybody has to go through that process.
Right.
So
Okay. So in that case, what did you send them? Like, do you have a template? Do you use like a message that here's how I would reach out to someone for XYZ purpose?
so I had two different strategies. One, when I was in the first and second semester, when I was applying for like a role at Amazon, I mean like anywhere for internship. So at that time, I used to send like a more conservative message, just trying to know them on LinkedIn. I don't have the template right now, but like something to just have an engagement, like kind of a conversation with them. The second thing in my life, another story happened. I was supposed to join Amazon in February, just after my graduation. it got pushed by 6 months. So, and I got to know about that in January, like just
Mm.
a couple of like a month or so, like 3 weeks or so before my joining. So at that time, my strategy was to get a job, get something so that I can stop my clock. At that time, I the kind of messages I was sending was to the point and direct, telling them that I basically secured an internship and like a full time role at Amazon. It got pushed by 6 months. I'm looking for a job opportunity. Can you do you know someone who's looking for these kind of people and all that? So those were like parallel two different strategies that I did.
Got it. Okay. And so how do you find these people? Just like what's the way to look at filter these people? Is it pretty much you have the list of companies? Is it Columbia alumni? Is it like how are you keep trying to find these people on LinkedIn?
LinkedIn has a lot of filters and a lot of features which people don't use. Like you can exactly filter what kind of people you're looking at. So this is, for example, my LinkedIn page, and let's say I want to apply to Amazon. So one of the cohorts or strategies that I used was to search for the company I wanted to apply in, and then at the top you have these filters, so like use some of these filters to my advantage. So for example, based on my experience, like one of my past companies is Mu Sigma. That's where I have worked in the past. So I want to filter down the connections, or like filter down the people who have worked at Mu Sigma. So I'll basically select Mu Sigma as the past company filter. I have about 1300 results. Now, over here, I can like filter them by location as well, or maybe just see the people I'm directly connected with as my first contacts. So I have about 19 people in my LinkedIn contacts who are like directly connected to me. They have worked in the same company I have worked with, and then they are now working in the company that I want to work in. So
Hmm.
this is one of the cohorts.
And
I can reach
so
out directly.
right. And so at this point, I'm assuming you probably would filter out all the India and just keep it United States, but
Yeah,
to keep it like even more targeted, right? So this would be now 7 people who are in
yeah,
United States in Amazon, which is one of your dream companies, and your previous company was Musigma, so they have worked in there. So your messaging to them is at this point pretty much that hey you like at this point you have a common thread to connect with them, that because like I also worked at Musigma and I see your transition to Amazon, I would love to understand more, and then you're
yeah.
reaching out to them. Is that correct?
Exactly. Exactly. So imagine like you being one of these folks. So you would love to hear from a old coworker just to catch up. And
Hmm.
then they'll be very happy to know that I have also moved to US because you were friends at one time. So you can just like reach out to them to just say, hey, I've moved to US. And that was another thing I did. Like I reached out to a lot of folks as soon as I landed. Like I just messaged them, people I've worked with or like I knew are in the US. Nothing related to jobs and all. Just reach out to them saying, "Hey, I am in US.
Hmm.
I am in New York City. Where do you live?" So just having those kind of connections will help you in the longer run.
Got it. Okay. And so obviously this is one of the ways for you to filter out. There might be another for like you can filter it out on Columbia
Yep.
University because you want to they are
Yep.
your alumni. Maybe you want to filter it out on your one of the universities like your bachelor universities, and so essentially
Exactly.
you're trying to do a common thread and then
Yeah.
reaching out to them. For this is like the first one where the job hunting is not like super prime, but when the job hunting was super prime where you were like I'm gonna run out of the clock, like I don't really care,
Yeah.
like let's just do cold outreach for
Yeah.
anything and everyone. Got it.
Exactly, exactly. So as a product manager or a program manager, that's what you're doing in your real life job as well. You're making connections, you're talking to people, orchestrating the work, and like talking cross functional. We'll talk about it later, but essentially these are the skills that are required for you to do in your current roles as well. Now,
Hmm.
you should. This is a good way to practice those skills, right? Like you're talking to people, you're trying to convince them to do something like referral, putting in your referral, or helping you reach out to the right folks. Now, the thing is, like a lot of people, that's again my experience. It will vary across. I personally think referrals are too mainstream now. Like everybody has some sort of connections, and then they like reach out to someone, and then they apply for referrals. They're not working anymore in the industry, so you
Hmm.
need that extra connection with the right people who can help you guide or reach out to the right folks.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. And in your case, when you were applying for internships, uh, was how did you get the interview calls? Was it online cold application or was it through referrals?
It was through referrals. One of the folks I just screen shared helped me refer to a role that I wanted to as a senior program manager. When I had a conversation with them, they also helped me navigate to the right role. So, as I mentioned earlier, like I was applying for a program manager role. And then they told me that you're more suited to a senior program manager. You should totally go for it. So I was like, okay, I'll find a senior program manager role. And then I basically got the referral for those positions.
Hmm. Got it. Okay. So know how many. So I mean, obviously, you applied to 15 jobs. When you were applying, were you waiting for referrals to come through, or you were like, "I'm gonna apply regardless," and then see if the referrals are there and see if they can like internally do something?
I used the first semester to build my processes and as a base on getting like an idea on what kind of referrals I can get in the future, like in the second semester. So that was really helpful. The kind of processes I had built, I knew the kind of companies I want to go in, and then like knew that these companies I would definitely need referrals. Now I didn't wanted to wait for referrals to come through and like people referring me. Meanwhile, I was arranging those kind of referrals from people. I was also doing my applications through LinkedIn, and like there are like millions of companies you can apply to. So both the processes were going hand in hand. You were doing the job applications for specific companies like Amazon, Apple. Sometimes, so this is what happens. Sometimes there are same recruiting people. So the HR is the same across two different positions. And if they see your resume across different positions, and those are totally different kind of roles. So let's say I am applying for an SDE role, and I'm also applying for let's say, a UI UX role, right? That's a bad marketing versus, let's say, live ops, signal acquisition role. Those are totally different kind of roles. And if the HR is the same person, then they will say, okay, I see the resume for this guy in both the position. This means this guy is just applying in all the positions. So that works negatively for you. So you have to keep in
Hmm.
mind, find a balance on the kind of jobs, number of jobs you're applying to in a company, and then they should be aligned to the kind of resume you have.
Hmm. Got it. How many applications did you do since you were doing 15 a day? And then how many
Uh,
interview calls did you get?
So my 15 were very curiously picked. Like those were like hand picked job applications per day. So I had a professor, Corey. Shout out to Corey Lebanon. He told me if you apply for 200 jobs, I can guarantee you'll find an internship. And that was valid before the whole fiasco of job market that's happening right now. So for me personally, I applied to close to 150,
Hmm.
157-ish
So in your
job
case, it's only
opportunities.
10 days. Like you were applying a day, 15. So in 10 days, you got a job.
I was trying to be close to 15 jobs per day, but like again, you
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's not
Right.
if you can do like 50 jobs per week, then like it's a 1 month process.
Hmm. Now that you have done the internship process, full time process, what would you do differently? Would you do anything differently?
I would be, yes, I would definitely do things differently. I would try to get deeper into the kind of roles and responsibilities that like specific roles do. So even though product and program manager are like kind of similar roles, but the kind of day-to-day stuff that people do in a product position or like a program manager position are totally different. So what I would do is, because at that time you're only thinking of getting a job and then paying off the money that you've paid to the college, and like you're like super scared and all that. So if given a choice, if I were to go back in time, I would do more research into the kind of roles I was looking at and narrow it down more. Um, so yeah, that is something I'll do
Yeah,
differently.
you would be become more specific to the role because you know you will get it because it's very aligned with who you are and your
Yeah,
skill set. Got it. Okay. So you did the internship, got the internship done. Now comes the full time part where you are like trying to find. You were like, oh, I'm gonna get the full time from Amazon, but then
yeah,
obviously 2023 happened,
yeah.
and the job market went like completely opposite. So then what happened? Like, how did you manage? Like, one, like, how did you manage to stop the clock? And then how did you manage to get back into Amazon?
Yeah, that was very interesting time. I'd say the most stressful time of my life. That month of Jan and Feb. But essentially, my connections again helped. So in the second semester, I did like an on-campus internship at Columbia's recruitment center that helped me with internship search as well and scanning my resume and stuff. Third semester, I did internship at Amazon in the same position, and then in the fourth semester, even though like I knew my job is confirmed, but still I worked on campus with a professor in a research analyst kind of position. So when when I heard from Amazon that my joining got pushed by 6 months, I started again reaching out to people on LinkedIn. I applied to 350 jobs, in more than 350 jobs in that particular month itself, versus the 150 job I applied for internship. uh, I didn't hear back from anyone. Like
Mm.
maybe a few companies, I had a few rounds, but by the end of all the rounds, they were like, we know that you're gonna, because like I was being honest with them, like I was telling them what happened, like
Oh
my
yeah,
joining got pushed by
yeah.
6 months. So they were like, you're gonna go to Amazon after 6 months, so like it doesn't make sense for them to hire me. So now I was at a stage where like I had a job offer from Amazon, but it got pushed by 6 months. Other companies were not hiring me because they were like, "You'll anyways leave us and go to Amazon," which I understand from their point of view. But as an international student, what do I do? Uh, at that time, shout out to Shui. She was my on-campus manager for the fourth semester, and fortunately, she moved into a new team, and she was working on a product that they were launching for Columbia, and it aligned with the kind of roles I was looking at. So for the 6 months that I had delay for Amazon, I worked with her at Columbia as a product manager slash instructional designer for the courses.
Mm.
And yeah, um,
But like I think the part that you're missing out is again the relationship and the networking kind of
yeah,
worked, right? Like if you hadn't had built the reputation and the relationship with the manager, you wouldn't first place get that position and stop the
for
clock. So
sure.
uh, did she reach out to you? Did you reach out to her that, hey, I'm in this situation, do you have something for me? What happened?
No. So I reached out to her. Obviously, you have to reach out to everyone. Like you have
Yeah.
to reach out to people. I reached out to people in India as well. Do you know someone in the US who's hiring? I think everybody did that at that time. Like
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
started reaching. So, anyways, for this story, I reached out to her. I told her the situation. This is the situation. I need something for 6 months. And then they were launching that product around the same timelines, like 5 months down the line, and that all matched. So they were also looking for someone who can help them launch the product and then like, work with them. And I was looking for a short-term opportunity where I can like help, like just like not have the clock running for myself. So it all aligned. For me, again, first semester, making connections, reaching out to the right folks really helps because it not just makes your life easy in US, but also help you in your professional career as well.
Hmm. Yeah. Uh, and so after that 6 months, Amazon did come back, because they didn't ghosted you. Like they did come back, and of course, like
Yeah.
now you're with them, working with them. So that's cool. And you're still like, where is your office? Do you have to go in office?
Yeah, Amazon has this 3-day return to office thingy. So I moved to Seattle from New York. Yeah, I'm
Nice.
in
Okay.
Seattle now.
Yeah. Okay. What kind of money do senior program managers make? Like, you don't have to tell me your salary, but like, tell me both internships and the full time as well.
So so the pathway for interns to the full time position, you do not negotiate. They don't let you negotiate at all. It's the same amount you basically get for all the interns, and then like for full time employees. I tried. They didn't listen at all. The kind of range I can give you is for internship, it's like 10,000 to yeah, it's 10,000 to 14,000 ish, and
A month?
yeah,
What? Oh my gosh.
yeah. So the hourly can be anything from $50 to $60 per hour.
That is
Um,
crazy.
And then you also have the relocation stipend if you're relocating to a new city or a state. So I relocated to Seattle for my internship. So yeah,
Hmm.
there's big money to make.
That is amazing. But people say program managers don't make money. I mean, yeah, look at that. So that's amazing. But that's internship. What about the full time?
Full time, I think for a senior program manager, that's an L6 role at Amazon. The range TC could be somewhere between like 180 to 210-ish or 220-ish. So yeah, that can
Wow,
be the range. And again,
nice.
for a product manager, it's higher. It's more than the program manager because they give you more RSUs for a product role.
Yeah, for people
So
who
your
don't know,
TC becomes
RSUs
higher.
is restricted stock units. For
Yeah,
people who don't know that, which is basically Amazon stock. So that's cool.
it's
Uh,
it's the money you don't have, but it's nice to look at every day.
Well, you will have it if you stay long enough. I mean, it's yours, and
Yeah,
it's typically for people who don't know like how it works. Is like, let's say if you get 1,000 stocks for Amazon, so usually it's 4 year period vesting period. I don't know if it's Amazon's is 4 or not, but so every year you will get deposited, and that 250 stocks, like 25%. It's like a 25% first year, another 25% second year, another 25% third year. So it's
yeah,
like drip like that. And so at the end of 4 years you will have 1,000 Amazon stocks. And so it is your money, is you just have to stay for it long time.
yeah.
Yeah.
For Amazon, it's 5% first year, then 20 second year, then 40/40. No,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. So
Something like
first
that.
year it's like just 5%. Yeah,
Got it. Because people know that they're gonna jump after getting 1 year of Amazon brand.
Yeah, 5, 15, 40, 40. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Uh, we haven't talked about one important factor because I know people are going to already comment, oh, he's from Colombia, so that's why he got it. I want to like clear this water a little bit. Is it that you went to Colombia, that's why you got the job? Like, did your name really helped, or is it like doesn't matter? Like the job market was same.
Um, Here in the US, there are no on-campus placements, so nobody is coming to like give you job offers on campus. You have to hustle, you have to apply, you have to basically get so many rejections and then get through it. For me, like Columbia brand name was helpful, of course. Like you can be like this can be the first thing you say in a conversation, and then people will listen to you. Like if you're like applying for a job or whatever, this is something you can bring in a conversation. So that's where the brand value comes in, where this can be a conversation starter. Then the other thing is when you're in the company or you're doing internship, you'll find folks from these universities who are
Mm.
working with you. So you can have more kind of conversations with them. Oh, I like, do you know about XYZ coffee place we used to go? Oh, this thing is happening at Columbia. So, and in the US, like especially that's the difference between work culture in India versus US. Over here, people build relationships when they're working with you. They try to know your life story and then what do you bring on the table. So I think that's where it helps. But Colombia comes with paying a lot of money to them as well. So it's like it's a double-edged sword. You do get the brand name, but you have to pay a lot of money as well. It's a private university at the
Yeah.
end.
How much did you pay? Like $100,000?
$100,000.
Oh my gosh. That is crazy. That is a lot of money. Did you take a loan for that?
Yeah, definitely. I don't have $100,000 in my back
I
pocket for
mean,
sure.
who knows? Like you're Music Ma in Colombia, so like you don't know, nobody
Yeah.
knows. And so, what about like paying off that loan? Like, have you paid off, or are you in on the process of paying off?
Yeah, so I took an unsecured loan from Prodigy Finance, which was like for $100,000, and fortunately, I was able to pay it off within a year. Um, After
Within a year?
yes,
Uh, okay. So Amazon must be paying you a lot of money. So just kidding.
yeah, yeah. Amazon is probably one of the best payers in the market, so they do pay well. And then like there's a
Hmm.
component of joining bonus, which a lot of people forget. Like the joining bonus that you get is like a lump sum amount before you join, and it also again depends on the location. So if you're in a state like Washington where you don't have taxes, then you're
Well, you
saving
you
there as
have
well.
taxes. You don't have state taxes.
State taxes, yeah.
Right.
Every dollar counts.
It does. It does. You are saving like 8% or so. So that's a lot of
Yeah,
money. Like that's eight
but
thousand
my
dollars. If yeah.
yeah, but the important thing to note here was the processes that like I built for myself. Like I was
Hmm.
every month the kind of interest I was paying, the like the amount that they paid to the college, I was tracking all of it. So I knew exactly how much money I have taken a loan off, and then you have like every month you have to add on the interest that is adding to your account. So you have to be on track of all the numbers, and then at the end of like when you're starting when you're earning and you're thinking of paying it back, then you have to see like how much money do you owe them. Now when you're ready to pay off the loan, you can ask for like a lump sum amount that you want to basically pay to them, and then
Wait. So did you add like so when you started paying off? Did you pay off started paying off more money in the principal during internship or after you graduate?
during internship as well. So as soon as I started earning, all the money was going to pay off my loan. So it
So you were
wasn't
putting in
after.
your principal.
Yeah, Yeah,
Yeah,
and also
got it.
you're doing on-campus jobs, so you have to basically be very chindi and uh, focus on repaying the money. That's the first thing you should do before living a lavish life.
Amazing. I have a question for this is specifically asking for parents because a lot of parents reach out to me worried that we're going to take like 50 lakhs rupees loan or like $50,000 loan. uh, will we be able to pay off? And I mean, of course, in your case, it's 100,000, and you did pay off within 1 year. What would you say to the parents who are like doubtful, like?
I would not paint a wrong picture. I would say the job market and the situation in US is much different than it used to be 5 years back or like 8 years back. So things are way too difficult right now for like new students who are coming in and like for people who are already working here. So it's not like a rosy picture over here. They should be very careful in what they're choosing, the kind of universities they're choosing. Look for scholarships, look for admits in state universities and like universities that gives you better ROI. That's very, very important. For me, there was a different story why I chose Columbia. But if I had some more time, I would have definitely chosen something which gives me better ROI. Fortunately, it worked out for me, but it doesn't work out for everyone.
I have a follow-up question. So, y- uh, now that you have paid off the loan, obviously, and you know the pain of paying off the loan, I should say, would you, and now that you're working, would you rather choose a university which is like not high ranked, like Columbia, which is not an Ivy League university, but the fees would be 20,000, 30,000, or completely free because you got RATA opportunities?
Yeah. Um, Personally, my answer, which is very bad answer for 99% of the people, I would say, I would choose Columbia again.
Wow.
Reason being,
Okay. Hmm.
yeah, the reason being my story, the like we haven't covered it, but like let me just give you a quick snippet. I came to the US in 2016 when I was working for a US based company to like work here for a year or so. I was staying in Atlantic Building in New Jersey, and like basically that has the view of the Manhattan skyline, and that
Yeah.
was my motivation to come back. Um,
Hmm.
Again, I don't know, this can go longer, but that company was doing my L1. And then it took some time and then it wasn't happening. So I decided to take matters into my own hand. I remember January 2020 is when I resigned from that company. And then I gave my GRE in 20 days. Then started the application process in February, which was super late. And then had to hustle, had to like no idea on how to get into universities and what universities to target. So just like reaching out to admission councils to see if they can accept my application, seeing in the market like what's there. All I knew was I needed foot in the door, just get here, and then I was confident like I'll basically make my way through it.
Well, you didn't just get
So
the foot in the door, you got the foot in the like full house, which is Columbia University. So yeah, so
yeah,
that's
so
amazing. Cool. Okay, that's unique. We're gonna film a separate video on the Ivy League, I mean Columbia University and your experience over there. But uh, so in nutshell, nobody just recruiter didn't just look at it and it's like, oh, he's from Columbia University, we have to just hire
nah,
him. No,
not
that
at
didn't
all.
happen.
No.
But what you are saying, where it does help, is making networking easy for you because the alma mater, like Columbia, is like the brand in the alumni, in the people who are working, they will recognize you, and that could help in a way, but not necessarily just because having it on your resume or on your LinkedIn, you're going to get hired. That's not how the Ivy League brand actually works.
Yeah, exactly. Your connections, alma mater, like the people you reach out to. Then even in your career, when you're working, you can like again have connections or working in the same companies. Like as you and I, as I showed one of the hacks on LinkedIn, you can search for like your previous companies. Now in the future, if you're looking for like a job in XYZ company, you can actually now search for people from your ex university, and then you'll find some folks there. So it helps you all the time. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's dive into senior program management. Like, what do you really do? Like, what does your day look like? And I know you said no tech programming, etc. But like, what do
yeah.
you really do? Like, you just talk to people? Is that what it is? Because that's what I do.
That's the
So.
most difficult part. That's the most difficult part because, like, back in India, we're never told to make connections, like, have conversations. Like, we're told to get the work done and then just put our heads down. So that's a very challenging thing to do. Let me, before I tell you like what I do, let me build the context on what my team does. So my team is the content acquisition team for Prime Video live sports in US and Canada. So all these properties that you see on Prime Video, Thursday Night Football, Premier Boxing Champions, then NWSL, NASCAR got announced recently, which is coming in
IPL,
2025.
which is not there, but maybe soon.
Uh,
But it could be one of the
I
examples,
can
right?
just say we tried. I can say we tried, but like there are many
Right,
more
right. But
layers to
it
it.
could be, right. That could be
Oh
one
yeah,
of the examples, though, right? Like
oh yeah,
IPL
yeah.
or T20 or any of those, like that falls under this same category.
Correct. Exactly. Yeah. I like any sport of any kind of sporting event that you have. So my team is the one who negotiates those like with those property owners. So for example, for IPL, BCCI is the person who owns the rights. So now BCCI gives the rights to, let's say, Star India or like Hotstar or Reliance. So in similar way, we negotiate with, like, my team basically negotiates with these property owners to get the deal done and then get the rights for Prime Video. Now, these my manager is basically the content acquisition manager who do all the deals and stuff like that. Now, I am hired as a senior program manager. Now, I've joined. It's been like 1 year or so since I joined over here. My work as a program manager, the kind of roles and responsibility a program manager deals is to work cross functional across the teams to collaborate and like be the person who thinks about certain thing across the verticals. So let me explain it by an example. So let's say right now we have secured the rights for IPL, for example. Now we need to get IPL live on Prime Video. Now to get the IPL match live on Prime Video, you need to get the feed from the partners, right? Like you need to do marketing around it. Then you need to have some sort of technical integration with like their APIs or whatever. Then you have a product manager who has this, let's say IPL is a pay-per-view product, like you basically pay for all single matches. Now you have a product manager who has this product called a pay-per-view product. Then you have other folks in the company like PR who's doing the press releases around side. So a program manager is the person for my team. For example, I'm the person who the client will reach out to if they have any sort of questions, if they need any clarification, if they want to change something, if they want to basically give us the assets for marketing, etc., etc. So, as a program manager, you're orchestrating that particular thing across the teams. So,
Hmm.
that's where my role comes in. We have gotten the rights, and now we want to execute that property for certain events.
Yeah. And your job is to make sure it does get executed. There's no roadblocks. If there are, you are the one who's escalating it, or people might be escalating, like, hey, your team doesn't do this, or like, hey, we
Yeah,
are not able to do this, like, your tech team doesn't do this, and so on and so forth. So you are like in the
yeah,
middle of the storm and trying to figure out, like,
yeah.
holding an umbrella with one hand and trying to hold the traffic and all of that. So you are like a traffic control guy.
Correct, correct. Absolutely correct. So there are every day is a new day. You have new problems, new
Hmm.
challenges
Yeah.
in a role of a program manager. because you don't know what is going to come the next day, and you can't like foresee a lot of difficulties and challenges. And then the other layer to it is the leadership part, where you are the person who's interacting with the internal leadership and external ones as well. So you have to basically, you're not directly responsible for a lot of these teams and their work, but you have to ensure everything is running smoothly. So
Mm.
that's basically a program manager in a nutshell, where you're not the owner, but you're accountable.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And people are going to come to you to answer, like, hey, where are we? Are we on track or are we not on track? Or why is something not getting done? So, even though you are not supposed to do the work, you are still held accountable to get it done, kind of thing. So, that's
Exactly.
amazing. Cool. What are the skills now that you've been working for a year? You worked 2 semesters in Amazon. What are some of the skills you feel like people should learn if they want to get this job?
I think the most important skill that is helping me is the analytical mindset, and having that base of like technology or like technical skills that I've had in the past. Although like coding, very bad, not doing it. But having that thought process where I can think analytically is definitely helpful in these kind of situations, where because there is no structure to the problems. It's like a crazy show where like all the things are happening at the same time. So you have to bring in that structure, and in that spot, and in those moments, you have to take the right decisions, right? You have to take key decisions. So I think having that structure approach is very helpful in these kind of roles. The second thing which I'm still improving on, and that's basically my that's basically what I want to improve upon in the future as well, is the communication skills. How well can you communicate your thoughts to different stakeholders? Because uh, like you, so these stakeholders that you're talking to internally and externally, they won't know everything as much as you know, because you're working cross functionally. They are not working cross functionally, they're working in their silos. So you have to be very effective and then communicate the right things to them. So I think communication is super important, and we should definitely work. Then the third skill is relationship building. Again, as I mentioned, there are new problem challenges every day. So there are times you will not know exactly what to communicate, and like you will not know the right answers. At Amazon, they teach you there are two-way doors. Do you know the concept of two-way doors?
Mm-mm.
So at Amazon, they
Oh,
say,
two-way doors. Yes, yes. Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
two-way
But
doors.
go ahead
Yeah.
and explain it. Yeah.
Yeah. So here at Amazon, they teach you a lot of decisions that we take in everyday life are two-way doors. So you can always return back to the same scenario or the same spot after you've made the decision. So they're
Mm.
not permanent decisions. So now, even at these big companies like Amazon, Apple, nobody knows the right answer. So like, because you're the one who's working with the, let's say, a business team, and you're working cross functionally, so you are closest to the like the whole organization and making those kind of decisions. You should definitely take those decisions and not wait for somebody to make that decision for you. So having a backbone is also very critical for these kind of roles.
Mm. So we were at analytical skills, communication skills, relationship building. I'm assuming some form of hardcore project management, program management, like more like
Yeah,
organizational skills, uh, which is like, because you will have to put
yeah,
some structure and some
yeah,
processes, and like, okay, every day we're going to meet during this time, and I, like, this is the cadence of meeting, this is the report. Like, reporting might be another one too, because you have
yeah,
to create a lot of tons and tons of reports, like here's the status report, here's the update report, here's the meeting report, etc. So
yeah.
these are the skills, though. How can one learn if they don't have experience? Like, what is the best way for them to like learn? Is it pretty much get into it, like work on projects, go to competitions, and choose courses that helps you build project where you can actively take this type of roles?
So technical skills, hard skills can be evolved and they can be learned for sure. You can learn a lot of hard skills. For example, as you mentioned, reporting. You'll work with. I work with BI teams and like data science team who help us forecast a lot of things and like make decisions. So if you know the in and outs of those kind of things, then you can also contribute and then like explain them or again effectively communicate to them what you need. So those are the hard skills that you can learn, um, right? And the soft skills that I mentioned, communication and all those, are something you learn as you progress in your career and as you talk to more people and learn about different sort of roles and kind of things people do in their life. So it's a mix of both technical hard skills and then soft skills, which are like communicational and then like getting stuff done.
Hmm. Got it. So what I want to do is probably create like a separate podcast where which is like more hardcore program management for, because this is like kind of a job hunting and then we are like now diving into program management. So I'll create like a dedicated one. Hopefully you are okay. I'm telling you that you are going to participate. But before we end and wrap up this one, what's the one advice would you give to aspiring job seekers like who are planning to get into job hunting?
I am not at the right spot to give advices, but if I were to give it, I would say be like water. Just evolve and take the shape of the situation that's happening around you. Don't be rigid. If you're from computer science, don't be rigid as that you want to work as an SDE. See where life leads you, and then go with the flow.
Love it. Okay. Amazing. I love it. And I can't wait to bring you back again. I know we have a lot to cover about the Ivy League University experience and then also hardcore program management. But until our next one.
Keep smiling and keep hustling.
Nice.